Hey guys, welcome back. It's Erica. If I look a little different, it's because I had my hair done yesterday. Not that you can see the beautiful style that was done, but yeah, I dye my hair. I wish it grew out of my head like this, but it doesn't. But now it's back to how I like it, and I'm feeling great, which kind of brings me to I don't know if I ever truly have a topic, but it brings me to a theme this week. A theme. I'm trying to think of my week and a theme. I would say self care or lack thereof. Like going to get my hair done yesterday was so nice because when I'm at the salon, it's funny. I brought I brought my phone and like my note sheet. I don't know what I thought I was going to do on my phone. I thought I was going to go on Notion and like put class notes in or that I was going to write feedback on class in. Maybe I could, but you know what? I didn't. I brought it there and there it sat with my pen and I just enjoyed it. My hairdresser is somebody in my family, kind of my extended family. And so it was a nice time to catch up and just talk about what was going on in her life, what's going on in my life. And it just felt wonderful, really good. To be fair, I did go snowshoeing. Any of you who, I don't know, have you found me on Instagram? I don't know if I'm easy to find, but I went snowshoeing last weekend, kind of just like a 24, 36-hour trip. Drove up, we drove north, our friends drove south, and we met in the middle in Vermont to go snowshoeing. We got up there Friday night, had some nice dinner, some good wine, conversation, a little chocolate, really nice time. We stayed at a bed and breakfast, a little tiny place, and the innkeeper had made us a fire when we came back from walking. We ended up walking to the restaurant and walking back, and it was less than a quarter mile, but it was so cold. I had two pairs of gloves on and like a neck gaiter. I had like all the things on, and I was freezing. I ended up running ahead of the my husband and the other couple because I couldn't take it. I'm such a baby. I am a New Englander, but I spent like 20 years outside of this area and only moved back like in the last 5 years. So the blood thins, people, and once you get a taste of the good life, it's hard to come back. Not to say that the good life isn't here in New England, but this is the time of year when it feels like winter will never end and spring will never come. We just got a snowstorm last night. Oh, I don't even know if I call it a storm anymore, but just when I thought we were done, we had 60-degree days and I froze a little, but I did wear flip flops the other day to go get some coffee at a coffee shop downtown. I insisted. I still had on like a parka and flip flops. Oh well, I had to just a little taste of spring. Anyway, yeah. So self care. So we went Friday night, went snowshoeing on Saturday, got back Saturday afternoon. Just vegged out a little bit because I just wasn't in the mood for lesson planning. And then Sunday came around and I got some, I don't know exactly when I'd gotten the news, but over the weekend just got some kind of crappy news, crappy family news, kind of scary family news. I think things were going to be okay. But anyway, it threw me for a loop. Just getting this news and processing it, it really threw me for a loop. And I was still just kind of like feeling uneasy about it on Sunday. And I just called it at 5 o'clock. It would have been like Monday morning in China. I knew I wasn't going to be able to show up for my students. I've powered through before, and especially working for some of these platforms in the past where you get like a big financial penalty or you get some black mark in your record or whatever. You'd be like throwing up and teach. I've never done that, but I've been close. Just all these situations where you probably shouldn't be teaching and you teach anyway. And so Sunday afternoon, I got to that point. And so I went ahead and sent a personal message to all four of my students, actually five of them. I even had a new student that I was going to cancel on. And I simply said, I have a family emergency. I didn't want to get into the whole thing, but yeah, and really it was kind of a mental health day, which, can turn into an emergency if we don't take care of it. And I had no regrets. I felt a little bad. I don't like disappointing people, but I knew it was the right decision. I feel like I wouldn't have been giving a very good value. And what I did is I was able to reschedule one, and the others were like, "I'm sorry, that was our day." So either we'll see you later in the week at our second class, or we'll see you next week. And that was hard. I think I have one student on that day. No, everyone, I'd see them later in the week, so that worked out. And then the one student that I see once a week, my brand new student, they agreed to reschedule to Friday, which is usually my day off. It's my day that I spent with my husband. But I thought, I really I want to make a good impression on this family. I mean, I think I made a good impression in the demo class, but I just want to rebuild that trust. I think I've talked about this before. We all kind of have emotional or relational bank accounts with everybody else in the world. And so I felt like I made a huge withdrawal. Like I think I might have bounced a check. So hopefully I'm going to be putting a deposit back in the relationship bank account with this new student and his family. And I'll teach them tomorrow just for half an hour. It's a later class. It'll be 8 o'clock in the morning for me. And then I can just enjoy the rest of my day. I'll write my report, send the homework, and move on. So it brings me to my question. When was the last time you took a day off? And when you took a day off, did you really take a day off? Or when was the last time you took an afternoon off? Or are you like me and you're always working? I have scheduled days off, and I mean, I'm not constantly behind this computer, but my brain is always behind this computer. I have a really hard time. Like, it's hard when you work from home, right? Like, even if I shut the door and put a note on my door and I've thought about it, I don't think it would keep me out. There'd be something else. Oh, just this, just that. Or we can do a lot of stuff from our phone. So dangerous. But yeah, I'm really thinking about this. I think part of self-care too is just really getting my systems down. I know you'd think by 4 months, 5 months, I started like mid-November, you'd think I'd have all of my systems down. And I feel like I'm getting closer. At this point, I've decided what solutions I'm using to help me do my work. I know my platform. I have a place where I like to keep lessons, a place how I do all my files. Like I've really refined that, and even communicating with parents. I wouldn't say I've refined it, but I know this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to mostly talk to you on WeChat. Sometimes we talk in class for these things, whatever. I know what I need to do. I just need to get better at it. And so one way I'd like to share a win with you. For those of you that are using Classin, I don't know if you're aware, this was actually brought up in my launch course. There's one guy that was like totally ahead of the game and he figured this out. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? I was still on Nucole at this time, so I didn't know much about Classin. But if you're using Classin, after the student finishes, and maybe you've noticed this, if you teach back to back, it'll be like the class report is ready. I need to find a way. If you know a way to mute that during class so I won't get notifications, that would be great. So I've been using the class report feature. I'm not going to do a whole tutorial and explain where to find it, but basically you click on the class report and it brings you to the bottom, teacher's evaluation, and you can assign like 1 to 5 stars. This has nothing to do with the little like trophies and rewards that you can give them during class. It's just basically like, how do you rate this class? You can write a little note, and I found this really speeds it up. One thing I had promised when I made my initial offer to parents was that like you get one-on-one classes, direct contact with the teacher. I feel like that's kind of a given. Easy scheduling, which like everyone just has a set schedule. It makes it easy. And then the final thing was that you get weekly feedback from me. And weekly feedback I found, because I was delaying, and I'm like, oh great, I don't have to do feedback after class. Woohoo! But I don't have to do feedback at all, and neither do you, but it is something that I promised. So I was waiting until the end of the week, usually like early Friday morning on my day off, to go ahead and sit down and write a thoughtful note. Ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, I have time for it. I get paid well to do this, so I certainly have time for it, but maybe parents don't have time to read all that. And I was doing it in such a clunky way. I think I had made something in Canva. Like everything was done in Canva initially. I had basically taken those of you that might have made a digital business card in Canva, I basically took that format because I knew it would fit on the screen of a phone. That was my goal, to just have something that you didn't have to like scroll, although it did turn into like a scroll because I'd write too much. And then it was like I had to download the file, and then I had to send it to the parents, and it was just like a mess. And then I tried to refine it. I'm like, okay, I'll just pluck stuff out of Notion and just put it in a WeChat message or something. That was long. I thought about, I'll just share it on Classin. That was better. Now, I mean, like sharing it in the chat with parents. And then some parents were like, oh, well, I'd prefer it. I offered this. I said, I'll give it to you on email, WeChat, or Classin. Another thing, like it's nice to give options, but why did I do that? Thankfully, most people said Classin is just fine. And there was like 1 or 2 parents that said, oh, I prefer it on WeChat. But thankfully, this little report that's all lovely and formatted and shows like basically a screenshot of every minute of your class. You just write your little thing, especially if you do it right after class. You're just like, hot take, blah, blah, blah. This is what happened. We'll work on this next time. Look out for the homework. Thanks. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye. You just send it off, and then it's also shareable. I just hit share and then send it to their WeChat. Super simple. You can send it right to a personalized chat message. That's been a game changer. I'm done. I am done with my feedback for the week. That is time back. I love it. I love it. Maybe you're thinking, I don't even write feedbacks. Like, what are you so excited about? Well, I do. And so I'm excited. And I think that's another part too. I don't know if it's part of self-care, but it's part of like good mental health. Celebrate your wins. Like, seriously, celebrate your wins. I found some cool educational grammar videos that I like that aren't like, well, let's be real, they're all a little corny, but these are kind of like cool corny. That was a win. Figuring out this process was a win. And just every little thing I refine. The wins don't have to be big. I mean, obviously you sign a new student, huge win, big celebration, but celebrate things like you decided on a platform, you found a better way to do something, you found a better way to communicate with parents, like whatever it is, like please celebrate your wins, because if you wait for big wins, they're just so few and far between. And then I feel like we just keep like pushing it up, 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 up. Yeah, this is kind of a win, but not really. You know, I only sold a 10 class package. Big deal. That's a huge deal. Hello. You're doing business most likely in a foreign country now. You have a business. You're making this work. I'm speaking to those of you who are teaching independently. But I guess this would apply to, I mean, really any area of life, like whatever you do. But especially in online teaching, you know, it can be kind of a lonely road. You're often by yourself. There's nobody here except for even my dog isn't here now. It's just me and the potato heads. So it can be kind of lonely. And so it's important to celebrate wins. And I guess along those lines too, something I meant to mention before, you need a friend. You really do. You need a teaching bestie. It's really cool if you have somebody like in your community, or some of you have like a family member who like is also doing this with you, or maybe they were doing a platform with you and you're the only one that's gone solo now. But especially like, I don't know that there's many of us right now, probably more than I think, I don't know, but there's less of us. You know, at VIP Kid, there was probably like at least 100,000 of us, and then however many at the other companies. But now I don't know that many of us have gone solo. I don't know it's not a lot, and it's nice to have a big community. I think Facebook groups are great. I'm kind of off Facebook these days. Slack is a good place. Wherever you go. Reddit, I don't know. Watch out for Reddit. That's a different kind of community. But anyway, I think it's important. Find somebody that you can just you can talk to. I ended up meeting somebody in the launch course. It was really cool. And so we chat probably almost every day, kind of check in with each other. Definitely during like our teaching week, we check in and just share that kind of stuff. Share wins, share silly things, you know, share the difficult things, and just I feel like sometimes it's a matter of like talking each other down off a ledge. I know it was really helpful this week to like process what happened between Sunday and Monday with me, and just kind of, okay, girl, you know, dust yourself off, pick yourself up, keep moving. It's okay. We all need that in our lives. So yeah, I guess if there's like two main themes, take care of yourself and don't do it alone. So I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.